Greenville International Secondary School is one of the biggest private schools in Enugu. It is a prestigious school known for its competitive students, excellent academic record, and its rich kids. It's a very big school with a very wide environment, tall gates, lush green gardens, and beautiful uniforms, smart and intelligent staffs. But one thing is common in the school: the arrogant attitude displayed by the rich kids of the school. Nathan is a student at Greenville International School. He is a tall, dark, and handsome teenage boy with an attitude that stinks. Nathan's father, Mr. Gerard, is a very big, successful businessman, and his mother, Dr. Veronica, a renowned lecturer in a prestigious university. Nathan's parents are the perfect definition of deadbeat parents that thinks money could solve anything. Nathan grew up having maids and nannies all around him, always at his beck and call, and that made him controlling and mean to everybody because he feels superior to them. At school, Nathan bullies anybody and everybody, even his closest friends. He always gets away with his bullies and wicked acts. He once smashed his head teacher's mobile phone because he asked for his project, slapped his classmates for sitting too quiet, and even disrupted a class because the teacher wrote too fast. Even the domestic workers at his house were not left out. He once poured a freshly cooked full pot of soup on the floor, saying that the cook is ugly. One day, it was on a Friday morning, Nathan walked out of his car with his head held high, looking handsome and mean as usual. As he walked, he bumped into another student. Nathan angrily slapped the junior student hard across his face, sending him stumbling backwards. The students froze, although they already know how mean Nathan was, but they also know that the boy he slapped was not a troublemaker. His name was Dubem, a poor boy who won a scholarship to study at Greenville International School. He is a very quiet, brilliant boy with no friends, and nobody knows where he came from or who his parents were. When Dubem stood up, he dusted his trouser, looked at Nathan with a cold, unreadable eyes. He walked away. Nathan, feeling superior, walked proudly to his classroom. That night, Nathan laid on his luxury king-size bed, about to sleep, when he heard his name in a whisper. Nathan! His eyes flung open. At first, he thought it was his imagination. He looked around and closed his eyes back to sleep. Again, the whisper came, this time louder. Nathan! He sprang up from the bed frantically, his eyes darting around the room. He saw a dark shadow at the wall. He screamed and ran out of his room. He ran into his parents' room but saw only his mom sitting before a mirror cleaning her makeup. Dr. Veronica looked up suddenly, surprised. She asked, "What's wrong with you, son?" I think I saw a ghost. I'm scared," he answered, breathing heavily. "Come on, Nathan. Do not be ridiculous," she laughed. "Come show me the ghost," she added. She followed her son to his room, but saw nothing. She looked round his room and turned to leave. Nathan immediately held her. "No, Mom, don't go," he said, panicking. "Nathan, please, I have an appointment very early tomorrow," she said, and left him there. Nathan was restless and tense the whole night. He couldn't sleep because anytime he closes his eyes, he heard his name. The next morning, being Saturday, Nathan came out of his room looking very tired. He barely slept last night, and for the first time since he was born, he was too tired to bully anybody. He sat on a sofa in the living room, picked up a remote and switched on the television. But what he saw terrified him. On the TV screen was his name, written boldly with blood dripping from it. He screamed and the television went off. One of his nannies came running to him. He pointed at the television and ran out. Nathan sat outside his father's mansion, too afraid to go in. Even the staffs were worried, wondering what could be wrong with Nathan. 2 days later, and Nathan's restlessness got worse. It got to a point that he started talking to himself. This got his parents worried. They had to take him to the hospital, but there was nothing wrong with him medically. So they were even more frustrated, and Mr. Gerard suggested they take him to the psychiatric hospital. But his wife refused, saying that her son is not mad. One day, one of Nathan's nanny told Veronica of a woman in her village who is a seer. She suggested they took Nathan to her to see if she could offer solution. Mrs. Veronica, desperate to see her son get better, jumped into the idea. She convinced her husband and they took Nathan to the seer. When they got to the seer's house, the seer, who is a blind-aged woman, sniffed the air and said, "Finally, you have come. I have been expecting you," she said in a weak voice. "Mama, please help us," Mrs. Veronica said. "I cannot help you, but I can direct your path," she said. His arrogance put him in this state. He offended the spirits, she added. Mr. Gerard and his wife got confused. The spirits, they chorused. Yes, the boy he slapped at school is an orphan. The spirits of his parents are tormenting him. The only solution is to find the boy, make sure he forgives him, and bury his parents properly. Love him as your own. Only then will he be stable, the seer said, and turned her back at them, indicating that they should go. The next day, Mr. Gerard and Veronica took Nathan and headed straight to school. When they got there, they asked for the boy, and fortunately for them, it was easy to find him. Dubem sat quietly at a corner in the classroom when his head teacher called him. He followed his head teacher to the private waiting room where Nathan's parents sat with Nathan, who looked pale and tense. The moment they sighted him, Veronica rushed towards him and knelt down, begging to forgive their son. Dubem was confused at first, but after much pleading, his heart softened and a tear dropped from his eye. He said, "I forgive you." Nathan's eyes lit up when he said that. He promised to be a better person. Mr. and Mrs. Gerard did as the seer said. They buried Dubem's parents like a chief and queen, and after the burial, they adopted Dubem into their home, making him a part of their family. They apologized to Nathan for their negligence, created time to stay home and care for their sons, being present both physically and emotionally. Nathan, on the other hand, turned to a new leaf. Having Dubem as a brother taught him to be more kind to people. Dubem influenced him positively and they loved each other like brothers. Thank you for watching this story. Please, what do you think about this story? Don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. And please turn on your notification so you can get notified whenever I post a new video. Thank you and remain blessed.